How you guys doing? I hope all is well with you. My name's Diane. This is ArtsyWisdom. Thank you for coming by. Today I'm going to look into Mr. Hegseth's future. I've looked at him before. He just made another boo-boo. Had another signal chat going. That same, battle or that same attack they were planning. And of course, he tells his wife and his brother, his attorney and all that. So I'm going to look into his job for the future. And also, I had a viewer ask about Concord, Massachusetts. They just had the 250th anniversary of the shot heard around the world, the Revolutionary War starting. And she had mentioned that there's several writers that came from there, and also the Transcendental movement also kind of was started there or near there. So I was going to look into the energy of the land and to the area and kind of see what I could pick up. I found it interesting, so I'm going to do that. And I also wanted to look into, somebody asked me about that stylist from Central America that they deported the young man, not Kilmar, not Garcia, but this other young man, and I think he's gay, but not that it matters. But they asked if he was ever going to be coming home. So I'll look into that. And also, because of the stock exchange went down again today, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. And I think because 45 is keeps bad mouthing Powell, and people are scared, the investors are scared. So I wanted to look into that. Not that I have any way of knowing about anything that's going to happen, but I just wanted to get into the energy again to just check in, because things change, free will, and that area of the world is super up and down. And Kristi Noem's bag, yeah. So I decided to wear a hat in her, just in favor of her, because she's always wearing these caps and kind of dressing up wherever she's going as the Homeland Security Secretary. Go Hoosiers, is that you? Anyway, I wanted to see about her future going forward. Will she have any limitations? Is she going to learn her lesson? Is she just going to move forward into this cosplay kind of situation that she's been doing? And and if Trump will lose his interest and cut her off. We'll see. All right, let's get going. First of all, thank you to all my new subscribers. And also this morning, we heard that the Pope Francis had passed. He'd been sick, and he had just had Easter services, and I think J.D. Vance was there actually speaking to him. I don't know if it was because of the time difference, but I felt like he must have gone easily, because he had just been in the hospital and had that pneumonia, and he had some lung damage. He might have only had partial lung too from something a long time ago. He was so inclusive. He apologized to the Indigenous people in Canada. Was it last year or the year before? A different couple times for all the things that the Catholic Church had done in Canada to the Indigenous people, or promoted, or sanctioned. Very sad. But he was a good person, and I really enjoyed that he tried to change the church and update it. We'll see if any of that will stay around, and if the next pope, which takes 40 days, I think they wait 40 days, and then they'll get the conclave together and make a decision, have a vote. 4 of Cups. This just popped out, so I just wanted to see what it is. 4 of Cups. Maybe there'll be 4 choices. It's kind of a meh card. So I think right now it's still up in the air. But the Pope, let's look at him. When I look at his energy, he's such a, he's down to earth. He didn't want any of that fanfare. I saw him like spinning as he not off the earth. I felt like, he's so evolved spiritually. And he was a human. He wasn't, what I mean by that is that his soul did incarnate into a human form, like we all are souls, and we come down and we incarnate into different beings or things sometimes even. And he came down, and he had his passion, he had his karmic path. But I see him up there dancing, like spinning in colors, like when we pass, we shoot like a rocket, like it's so fast, and going to the heavenly realms, where we go to the Council of Light, and we heal, and we go through this process of transitioning. I feel like he didn't do that right away. I feel like he's around the earth on a different plane, where I feel like he's just spinning and dancing, and all of these colors are around him. And colors are, all white light has all the colors in it. So it's the feeling that I get, is that everything, the pureness of God, of love, of all that can be in each of us, because we're all fractions of that light, tiny fractions. He's like spinning around, and he's dancing in all of the colors that the pure love of God is in. I just makes me verklempt a little bit thinking about it. Feels so good. But it doesn't feel like he's all the way where, he's going to end up. He's just enjoying this. He's free of his body, and he's like spinning and swirling in this feeling of love that he always imagined. Heaven, maybe, could be. And he's enjoying the benefits of what he accomplished as the soul here. He's enjoying that feeling of the good that he did. Feels good. Okay. I don't know how to transition, but Concord, Massachusetts, energy. I think it's outside of Boston. And I've always felt like dirt, like when I've looked into Haiti before too, and other places, the dirt, the energy of the land just absorbs all of the actions on that land. So if good things happen there, it sticks. If bad things happen there, it sticks. But when I'm thinking of this place, Concord, Massachusetts, it's just intense depth. So there's beyond depth to it. It's like it goes down and down and down. Not just deep into the earth, but richness of experiences, richness of energy, life, ideas, love, hate, experiences of all the people that have lived there. And that's like any place. But for whatever reason, I sense this place is very dense. Dense is the only word I can think of. Dense and rich. And why did these people, these writers, so many writers come from them? I think part of it's because of the location, and it just so happened where people landed or their family developed over time. And, back in the day, there wasn't a lot of big cities, and some writers were drawn to other areas. And when you get one writer, people are drawn, artists live in one area and they're drawn to other artists and that kind of stuff. You build little communities. I think that's part of it. But also I think there is an emotional component to the land. It actually goes from way before the white man was there. And it's the indigenous people. There was something about that area. It was very fertile with also like food and growing things, but fertile with isn't this weird? I want to say naivete. I have no idea why I want to say that. Fertile with innocence, fertile with open ideas. So when you get somebody who's sensitive, like a writer or an artist or creative person with a strong Neptune in their chart, or people who are spiritual, transcendental people who are exploring other planes of existence or other planes of spirituality, and they're exploring that, they're drawn to that area. It's real fertile fertile is the word, dense. And so the indigenous people were there way long before the white man or the colonies developed. And almost, I feel like, okay, get this, I feel like the indigenous people, Native Americans or whatever tribe that is there, they blessed the land. They acknowledged it so much over the centuries. They appreciated it. And it's like, it is blessed. That area is blessed. And it does offer, and that's like forever. They did that. The people that came before, we discovered it. They did that, and it was blessed and fertile, and it will always be that way. There was battles and stuff there, but below that, battles and stuff, the Revolutionary War started there, but below that was, and it feels bad because in a way, I feel like we stole it. Well, we did steal it, but I feel like we stole that energy. We poached it from their culture and what they did, but we didn't know that. We just felt it. And so let's take it because we like it here. And the writers and artists and creative types, spiritual types, all, it's blessed, that area. That's the feeling I get. Yeah. Blessed to offer every kind of, so if it has that much fertility to it, if it has that much open density to all thoughts and all ideas, of course some of them are going to be negative, and there'll be people taking those and perverting them for their own needs because their ego might get in the way. Their ego might take over. But this Concord, justice. So justice doesn't always, it's about finding the truth. Justice is a hard line. 9 of Cups and the Sun. Lovely. Justice is about the truth being the pureness of the earth, the pureness of, it's like I said, it's blessed, but the blessedness comes from I don't know how to explain this. I need my words. Diane, words. The energy of the pure goodness, the creative potential of the earth. All that can be. Mother Earth, the great feminine, the divine feminine, the goddess that lives within the earth. And then we've got the 9 of Cups, which you can see the butterfly is the symbol of transformation. But the 9 of Cups is the wish card. And that's them blessing it with everything they have. And then the Sun. It's one of the best cards in the deck. The Sun, our lemur guy here, just enjoying fertility. That's another sign of the fertility. So I don't know why, and I'm sure there's dark parts of it, in that area, dark, parts of the city or whatever. But the energy will always be there. It will always be there beneath whatever drudge and dirt and yucky that gets built on top of it. It's always underneath there. Thankfully to our native brethren, people from before. And the writers, is it Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, and Lucia May Alcott? They picked up on that, and it fed them. Gosh, very cool. All right, let's another interesting angle. Let's go with these banks and the economy. The banks have a lot of insurance. I know everything is dependent on each other, these different institutions, but the banks are okay. It's not going to be like the Great Depression that I can tell right now. I don't see that. The banks are okay. I've seen, our owl spirit and the whole 45's administration and the Republicans who support it and will not push back on it. It's falling apart in this water that we find ourselves in, that is just, we're waiting for that to devolve into debris. And We're still watching that. So they're just eating themselves alive, basically. And not literally, but you know what I mean. And we're watching. And so the banks are going to be okay. They might come close, but they're going to be okay. Now, the Dow Jones, and I'm picturing tech stocks are kind of coming to my mind. Tech stocks are the big variable right now. And I don't know why that is. And 45's inability to see past his nose and see that smart people they know things and that we should listen to them, like Jerome Powell. And I think I've told you this before, or I know I've told you this before, they're looking for a replacement for him. I don't think he can be fired by him directly, but I do think there's going to be some sort of maneuvering where he'll get him out of there somehow, some way, but it'll take a while. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon because the Dow Jones, his rich buddies are like, what the heck is happening? So I don't think that's going to change, but the Dow Jones went down a few points, or went down 2.5% or 3% today, or something with the tech stocks. And I know the bonds market and everything, that was getting, all the Canadians were, or the Mark Carney, the Canadian premier, was doing a smart thing by buying up their United States bonds and then selling them, trickling them, and just selling them little by little. I don't know. Their election up here, Canada's election, is next Monday. So we're going to see what happens with that. It'll be very interesting. I'm not going to pick a winner right now. But at the moment, Mark Carney's doing the right things for the Canada. That I can tell. What I know. But the tech stocks, there's something with the tech stocks coming up with the Dow Jones Industrial. I feel like there's some selling of something there. But don't use this in any way or shape or form gauging your choices. Just telling you what the images that I get. I do think the Dow Jones will go down a little bit more, and then it'll come back up. Or it'll go down, and then it'll come back, and go down, and go back up. That's usually the way it goes. Okay, now, Mr. Hegseth and his little... Oh, you know what? I was just reminded to pull a card for the stock exchange. Okay, so we got the Five of Cups. The capybaras that are... I think those are what those are. Five of Cups isn't great. There's a little bit of endings there. Little bit of death that we have to get over, but people move on from it. See, they go, okay, let's move on. And it could be moving on from, you know who, King of Swords, who thinks he knows everything. Actually, it's more like this because he doesn't know everything. Some hard truths are going to come out. Okay. Pete Hegseth's job. He just can't stay in that job. He's too ignorant. I didn't say stupid, but ignorant of what he needs to be done. He just doesn't have the skill or the expertise, or his ego is too giant. It's just, he's making choices on ego and being pulled by the guy in the White House. Pete Hegseth, what do you think is going to happen? 9 of Wands. Yeah, he's standing up there. He's like, he's been fighting. He's still going to fight. And he's standing... He's like, I'm going to win this battle. I'm going to win this battle. I know it's been hard, but I'm going to win this battle. He thinks like a soldier. And then he's going to get some help. He's going to get some support. Got the 3 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands, which is success. I don't think he's going anywhere soon, although I looked at this. There's some things happening behind the scenes. 7 of Swords, which is about people stealing stuff. So I think he's okay for now. They're coming up with another person. I think my feeling is that he thinks he's going to be okay. He's going, okay, I got this. And they're probably spinning it somehow, some way. That was already done, and yes, it's fine. And they worked in the administration. Yeah, they're looking for somebody else, and they're keeping their eyes open for somebody else. And then this is rough waters to calm. Yeah, so He's gonna be out of there. Not yet, not yet though. I want to say 2 weeks, but I'm probably wrong. I just want to say it. Okay. Let's do Kristi Noem and her bag. What happened to Kristi Noem's bag? I guess she had like $3,000 in it, her passport, money, driver's license, military badge. Yeah, why not? She was having money. She had a lot of money because she was paying for things because family was in town. As one does. Why don't you use a credit card or debit card? I'm not sure. Maybe she's one of these that feels like she doesn't want to be traced or something. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's a nicer place. I don't know what kind of restaurant it was, but I feel like it was like a little bit more upscale or a little nicer. She trusted where she was. She wasn't very worried about it. Did she walk away? Would she have left it there? She walked away? No. That makes no sense. Why did she do that? Why would she do that? I think it might be something like that, where she had it under the table and somebody picked it up when she was not looking. They canceled everything, obviously. That's a no-brainer. Got, her badge, got driver's license, and the money and the passport, I bet they're going to get a lot of money for that passport. Maybe. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's a hard road back, but she's going to lose a lot of support through this. This is the Death card. Nothing physically, of course, but a person puts out the energy of ego and I'm better than you and I know everything and don't tell me what to do. I can shoot my dog if I want to because it wasn't a good dog and you can't criticize me. That kind of person is attracting negative people. That kind of person attracts egoic, don't tell me what to do kind of people that steal or do criminal activities because they're like attracts like, right? I think that, I think she attracted this. Maybe somebody was following her even. It's going to make her more pissed off, and it'll be blaming on the Democrats or somebody that paid to, do it. Here's the moon. Very secretive things. There's not going to be able to find out who did this. I think these cards went upside down. And there's going to be some hell to pay. 10 of Wands. She won't be able to live this down for a little while. Even though she acts like she doesn't care what people think. Part of her does. She absolutely does. She ran and got a vote and got voted into governor of, was it South Dakota or North Dakota? She wanted people to like her. That's part of her makeup. Politicians want people to like them. They're frail people in general. None of these are good cards. Strength and 5 of Swords, which is about losing and feeling betrayed. Yeah. Her energy is just so icky. It's just so icky. Like standing in front of all those men in that prison in El Salvador with her costume on and like, look at me, I'm strong and I got them all in jail. And just like I told you, and immigration, just don't you dare come into our, trying to look like an asshole, really. Hopefully I have to change my settings now on YouTube because I said that. But that's the energy she's putting out. So guess what? You get somebody that's attracted to that. Who gets attracted to that but other assholes, right? But she feels yucky. And I don't think she's going to lose her job. 45 likes her, and she's pretty-ish. But the ego, the bigger, I'm bigger than you, and I'm smarter than you, and I'm faster than you, and I'm stronger, more powerful than you. She's got to rein that in, or it's going to continue to happen like this. She's attracting badness. Badness? Not goodness. All right. Finally, I'm going to look into that, speaking of El Salvador and the deported prisoners. I can't remember his name, and I apologize. Maybe I'll put it on the bottom here. So that's disrespectful to not put his name on here. That young man who got deported, he didn't do anything wrong. And the Supreme Court, I'm so glad they've been blocking these flights. Hallelujah. And I think I mentioned it in my last video, or my last video, they're going to continue to do that. The women, for whatever reason on the court, are going to be a big part of that. And women judges over the country. Something is going to happen where they're going to, not now, not soon, something where they are going to proceed to take everybody's history more transparently. You know, they said they were all part of MS-13, or they were part of the Venezuelan gang. They're going to go through a due process. And he will get released at that point, but I don't see that anytime soon. There's going to be an agreement, some kind of agreement. And it's not through the president of El Salvador, not money being exchanged. It's something where the Senate or the Congress, something like that, they're going to push, and the courts are going to push for this process that must be followed. They want to give him what he wants, 45, that look like you're deporting immigrants. But even Joe Rogan said on his podcast the other day, you want it really bad, but the pendulum swings too far this way and you lose all your rights because everybody goes. Kick everybody out, but then good people get gone too. So look at Joe Rogan. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily agree with him on much, but he's just a little boy that needs love, honestly. Not that I'm making excuses for him, because he was a big part of 45 getting into office. But anyway, I don't see it. There's going to be a future thing where a process where they're going to take everybody, bring them back, but they're going to go into their information more clearly, more carefully, and pull out the ones that actually aren't gang members. But they have to be real clearly not gang members. But it's going to be a while. And I think that senator from Maryland that went to see Garcia will have something to do with that. He'll create some sort of bill or committee or something like that. Yeah. But I hope he does. I hope that young man comes back here. He's just he looked like a nice guy. And it's not fair. Nobody deserves that. Okay. Well, you guys take care. Thanks again. Remember to stay centered. Do your meditation if you can. Sit quietly, just 5-10 minutes in the morning and at night. Center yourself. Even some yoga if you want to do that, some stretching. Choose a word for the day. The other day I did some yoga and I chose simplify because it was just scattered. So simplify. And it really helped me. It kept me focused for the day because then I let things go. And it was lovely. Today I picked kindness for myself and for others. And so far it's so good. All right, you guys. Till next time. Take care.